Me, I'm Pierre. I'm here with one of my good friends, Enrique Carillo,
Hey.
the boy straight out of New Mexico. And Enrique is a very, very successful entrepreneur in the nutrition space with Herbalife. He's one of the top guys in the company. He's been doing it how many years now?
18 years this
18
month.
years, bro. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, man. So like Enrique, if you're not following him, you have to follow him. He's a cahoot, is what my grandpa would say on social media. He's always doing something, but he really truly loves people. And I think that's the one thing that I love the most about you, man, is that dude, you are so centered around people. Like it's not just Herbalife and the brand and the products and like the lifestyle, but like, dude, you love people, bro. Like, and you're loyal. Like, you're someone that, for the first time we met, you generally just feel love from you, and it's like someone has to really cross you for you to be like, okay, I can't, right? But you're like, man, you got one of the biggest hearts, and I think like if you ask me, outside looking in for as long as I've known you, right, for the last 6 years, we met in 2020, February 2020,
Yeah.
is like I'd say that really is what has made you successful is your love for people. Would you agree with that, or what do you think?
Well, yeah, first off, thank you for inviting me on because I love doing this and getting a message out because we all have to, speak and, talk to people and share our story. So thank you for that. And you've been looking up to you since, I got into this space and, loving what you're doing as, a business owner, and we really connect with each other
Oh,
really well
100%.
from the first day, but I really feel like for me, like they always say like I love hard, but I hurt hard too.
Yeah.
And it's always like I always felt like that was a weakness of mine
Yeah.
because like I would get hurt so bad. But my mom said it to me one day. She said, "Do things out of the kindness of your heart without expecting anything in return."
Gloria, man.
Right? Straight out of Gloria, not New
Love that
Mexico.
woman, man. Gloria, I know you're watching this. I love you.
Mhm.
Literally, Gloria, like, bro,
Mhm. Yeah.
she's a rock in y'all's family, man.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Right.
So, man, that's amazing.
So
bro.
that was just, from there. And it was just like, once I heard that, it's
Yeah.
like I stopped getting hurt by things that I would do for people, but I just did it out of love. And I feel like it's crazy how you said that because I always tell people like love is my superpower
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like I'm gonna love you so hard. Like it's like when I meet you for the first time, it's like we've met for the rest of our life. And there's a quote on our nutrition club. I found it. I think it was like I don't even know, somewhere just like randomly and behind like I forgot, it was like Ross or Marshalls, and it said, "Come in as a stranger, believe as a friend."
Oh, man, it's beautiful.
And that quote right there, like when people come in, it's just like I just want to show them love because there's not that many people that love nowadays.
Well, it's
So
like that
just
parallel with Jesus, man. Like you love, like Jesus, he just loved. That's everything he did. Like there was no left or no right. Everything he did was out of love. And regardless of how the parable was or things like that, and you're a believer too, man. And I think that's what's powerful as well is understanding like how you can take your gift and your superpower and like how that cross link with Christ is, and you use it every day.
Right.
So that's how you demonstrate Christ's love for the world.
Right.
Is your ability to love, which to me is like it's amazing, man. And so like Herbalife. How'd you get into it? How'd you stay in it for 18 years with so many people that are starting jobs and dropping off or trying to do things and make a buck? Like, what's really like, share with us, like, man, like your story, how you got into it, but like, how have you transformed into the man you are today?
Right. So, just from that, like, thinking back, people like I look at my life before Herbalife and how I got into this. Like, I had 3 jobs, going to school full time, and I was talking to my nephew over here, and he was telling me like how much he makes right now for like just starting off his first job, $15 an hour.
That's crazy.
And my first job was $5.15 an hour.
Bro.
And looking at that, it's kind of crazy. But I had 3 jobs, and I wanted to play sports when I went to college because my dad was a football coach, baseball coach, basketball coach. You just have that dream as a kid. And when I was 18, I got a staph infection on my back, so I couldn't play anymore because there was a bunch of complications that went on. And the doctor's like, you can't play anymore. So I go to school. My dad just go to school, get your education. And then through that, it's like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like once you're part of something, a community of men, like, football and basketball and baseball, you're up to something, you're doing something, you're going for a state championship, or you're always winning. Then you go from that to like college. Like, what am I going to do now?
9-day difference.
Nothing. Yeah. So without a purpose, people perish. And that was me. So I go to college. I'm jumping from degree to degree. And then also like like going into fraternity, and fraternities could be good, but also there's a bad side of it, drinking and doing the partying, whatever.
Yeah.
And by the time I was 22 years old, I had 3 DWIs, 2 minor possessions, had to get my stomach pumped twice from overdosing, drinking on drugs. Life just spiraled down, and I got out of jail, and my mom, she pulled me aside, and I always like look at this because this is like, it's like the month. Sorry,
Take your time, brother. We're here, man. We got
yeah,
time.
like the month that I always started in Herbalife was like the time where I was like the lowest
Yeah.
in my life, and I hit rock bottom, and my mom pulled me aside, and she said, where'd I go wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, for a parent to say that, you're just like,
It hits you.
it hits you bad. And I looked at her, and she's always done everything for me. And it's at that moment, like, gosh, but I still blamed her. Well, you didn't let me do this. You didn't go out and party when I was younger, and you let blah blah blah. It's easy to point the finger.
Yeah.
And I just remember going home and just seeing the sadness of her face. And like, I laid down in bed that night, and I said, I was like praying. I said, God, give me something. And I said, if you change my life around, I'll be a servant for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, my friend, I go study at a friend's house, and she's talking about some tea that's getting her all energized, and she cleaned her room, and she did her homework, and she does stuff. I was like, I know other stuff they used to do that, but tea. So I was like, let me go with some tea, and I went to this nutrition club. But I walked in, it looked like a bar. I was on probation, so I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I can't come in here. Like, no, come check this out. And then I walked in, it had the teas, had shakes, and I had everything. I felt super good the very first day. And then before you know it, I went in for the first week, not typical what's possible. I lost 8 pounds. And I started feeling good. I started going there every day because it just became something for me.
It's a place for
My mom was struggling with her weight at the time. And like, when women aren't happy, like, nobody's happy. Like, my mom's confidence was low. Her energy was low, like everything. So I said, Mom, come check this stuff out. So she went in there with me her first month on the products and doing it. We're just having a blast together in there. She's down 10 pounds. I'm down 12 pounds. We're like,
What's
looking good for what's happening. Yeah, energy. And it's like when you put great nutrition in your body and you start learning a little bit of things, and you're around a community of people doing it as well. Like, environment is everything. And so everybody's doing these shakes and the teas and eating healthier. And then before you know it, I got offered the business opportunity, and my rent at that time was $250. I was bringing people into that nutrition club, and my coach was like, he had $300 in his hand. He said, either you could keep this money or I can. People are coming in and buying the products because they want to lose weight like you. Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I'll take the money. Like, 100%. I'll be rich if I make $300 because I was, I didn't make that much money. So he's sent me with a game plan, got me going. I did the business part-time. Very first month I made $1,000. I was like blown away because I was only making over $1,000 with my 3 jobs, and the 3 part-time jobs. So from there, like, I just learned. And I was back in the day when MySpace was big.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Posting on MySpace. I would go door to door knocking. I'd have my Herbalife bag with me. I have a little scale, have some stuff where I would like weigh and measure people, and have a little scale or like a tape measure to weigh their stuff, do their stomachs and everything, just old school. And then within 4 months, I was making $2,000 a month, quit my jobs. There was a nutrition club that was available, and my buddy's like, do you want to take it over? And I'm like, I'm 22. I'm still in college. I don't know what to do. No idea. Threw my ass in there, and from there, just learn things gradually. And one of my mentors, he like took me under his wing. He was like my upline. He'd been in the business for like almost 20 years at that time. And he said, like, your life will be changed by the people that you meet and the books that you read.
I love that.
And I hated to read because when I was in 3rd grade, I was in special ed classes because I had dyslexia. Still have it. But I can't read too well, and I do not like to read. And I was like the biggest cheater in school, like the biggest cheater. And it's good to be a cheater in like copycat too. I say, as long as you're copying the right cat, especially in business. So I'm a good copycat in business. But my mentor took me under his wing, and he shared with me some things. And the first book he ever told me to read was The 12 Pillars by Jim Rohn. And that book was a 6th grade reading level. I was like at an 8th grade reading level. So I was like, I'm going to smash this book. And it was only 120 pages long. So like chapter by chapter, he would make me read it, and I would have to read that thing like the chapter 3 or 4 times to really comprehend it. Because then he's gonna like test me afterwards. So he's like, how can you use this for business? How can you use this chapter for your life? And then for the first quote was, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better.
Which is still so relevant today, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's like something he taught you. You were how old at the time?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Right. So, and like, here you are now, still having to apply that, or getting to apply that. I say, still getting to apply that. And I think the beautiful thing, like within your story, man, that really, even though, you know, I've heard it, I know it, I love it, I respect it, I appreciate it. It's one of the things that I love the most about you and your family, man, is y'all all have crazy stories in your own ways. But I think the one thing for me, man, that really stuck out was that you kept trying.
Yeah.
Even when like you really didn't think you had a way to go. Like, man, like coming out of jail at a young age, lost in the world. I mean, heck, even when I went to college, my first year, most people don't know, like, dude, I had a 1.3 GPA. I almost didn't pass that after that first semester.
Yeah.
And my mom said, you can either figure it out or you can come home and get a job. And I was like, I'm not going back to Anahuac, Texas, man.
Right.
Like, there's nothing to do here.
Yeah.
And you're from Las Cruces, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to do there either. So you're like, yo, I have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And thank the Lord we figured it out, right? And no, it didn't take long.
Yeah.
But it's not, you have to stay in the fire. You know, you have to stay in that fire, man, and just let it mold you, and just understand that even if you don't know what you're doing, the fact that you're trying shows that you have faith in yourself. You believe in yourself to some degree, you know, and like, what's something I would say, like, man, if you could tell a young 22-year-old kid right now, not necessarily, maybe not have been through the same things you've been through, but they're in their life right now. What's something you would tell them to be where you're at, speaking on stages, impacting lives? Money's not a problem. Showing love, taking care of your body. Cause like there's another side of your story, man. Like, you recently overcame cancer.
Yeah.
All right. So what's something you would share with them, and then getting into that survival piece of how you're thriving?
Well, I think, you know, for me, I think this goes as like, I would say environment is everything.
Okay.
And it's like, you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. And I think that for younger people, it's like, my coach would always say this too, like, if it's not building you in a positive way, if it's not growing you, and if you're not talking about like success and money and, you know, health and things like that, then you need to get out of that room.
Yeah.
You know, and go somewhere else. And I think from there, like, too many kids nowadays want to fit in. And that's where like a lot of us are, and also by comparison
That's
too.
true.
And I think a lot of times, if you fall into that comparison and also like wanting to fit in, then that's where you fail, you know, because a lot of us, like for me, like, it's lonely at the top. So like, whenever I started distancing myself from like my friends that I thought were my friends, and I wanted to become successful, nobody was around. So I'm reading books on my own, or going out on my own. I'm like, you know, you're alone doing those things, but then you finally find people that are like you when you start going into the journey of like eating healthier, you know, going into books with God, doing things like that. You're going to find your crew, but you think your crew is your crew because you like grew up with them, and you're like, or, you know what I mean? And it's like we're going to be best friends forever. And that's not the case, you know? So as just my, like, as, you know, because I have a lot of younger kids that I've started to mentor right now. I'm just always telling them about their environment, you know, and it's okay to fail. Like, people are afraid to fail, and it's like, you're gonna fail. Like, I've failed more than anybody, and that's where I am today, because I've gotten more no's than tons of people out there.
And it's the best teacher. You know, you can't learn if you're always getting everything right.
Right.
You know, and it's like those parallels to life. Like, you can't have life without death. You can't have a miracle without disaster. And so many people don't want to go through the terrible space because they can't see that, hey, this has to happen for me to appreciate what I've gone through, or what I will have after this that I'll be blessed with. You know, and so, like, man, one thing that also too that I love about you is you're still pursuing greatness today. And so, like, share with everybody, like, I want to hear, like, so cancer, that timeline, overcoming it, and then now your mental health, not only that at that piece, but where it is now for you to shine through that. What was that journey like for you going through cancer?
Yeah, I think, well, cancer was probably like, it was like one of my biggest fears is to have cancer. And then when I went to go get checked, and like, you have cancer, I'm like, and I ran right away. Like, I went to a mode of like, let's fight. You know what I mean? Let's fight this shit. Like, I've been through shit before. Like, let's do this. But then it's always like, I always tell people there's no greater like method of operation in your life than excitement. and I was not excited to go through it, but I get excited to go through the journey, because if you getting yourself in the mode of like, oh, I'm poor me, blah blah blah, I'm sad, like shit can always be worse.
That's true.
Always be worse. So I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And that's where I went to like that space, and I said, okay, what do I got to do? And going through those treatments and going through that fight, like it was like probably one of the scariest.
Yeah, it is scary, man.
Like things to go through it, and to have that, and just to make it through there at that time, and then relationship problems on top of that, and then I get out of that, and then I tear my Achilles,
Yeah,
and I'm
twice actually.
twice, yeah,
Twice,
and then going through that, and then okay, let's fight again, and it's not what you can't do, but what you can do. And it's like I'm used to going out there and talking to people and working out and doing this, and I'm like, fuck, like, and a lot of people would have gone into a mental state of like, poor me, and got into a crazy mindset, and like let themselves get depressed. But I'm like, I'm gonna move today, I'm gonna go work out. And even when my cancer, like I'd go for my radiation, I go straight to the gym.
Yeah,
I'm just
I remember
like,
that.
10 pounds.
Something.
Because I developed such a routine with Herbalife inside of my life that I wasn't gonna mess that routine up.
Yeah,
Like the gym is my sanctuary. My teas and my personal development, that's it. My meditation, all those different things. So when I got into like different things in your life, I was like, I didn't never let those go. So my mindset was super strong all the time. So like when people go through certain things in their life, like their mentality is not strong enough to fight that, because they're not working on themselves enough.
so you have to have those core pillars.
Exactly.
And I think that's what we really take away from that, man, is having those core pillars in your life to just stand on, or stand on business. Like people like to say, like what are you standing on? What's your foundation?
Yeah.
An analogy I use sometimes, man, is so you have glass balls and you have marble and you have rubber balls, right? And in our life, we have all these different things that we're trying to juggle at all time: life, kids, sickness, growth, family problems, work success, growth, all these different things, right? And so the analogy I like to give people is that you have to decide what in your life are going to be these glass balls and what in life are going to be these rubber balls. The glass balls are going to be your non-negotiables: my family, my faith, self-development, my teas, loving people, right? Those I'd say are definitely yours. But then these rubber balls are going to be like, outings with friends, certain types of meetings, what you say yes to. There's also power in what you say no to, right? Understanding those values and what that looks like for you. And if we are constantly juggling these things, that's great, but you can't drop these glass balls. These other ones, I can let them bounce, I can drop them, I can move around, shuffle them. But as soon as I let go of my faith, my fitness, my family, my self-development, your affirmations you tell yourself, like those are the things I do. You can't break those, because if one of those breaks, it doesn't, everything's off, and I think understanding where those parallels are in your life is important. And for you, you have those. That's amazing.
And I think that's a big thing right there. Like when I do coaching with my team too, and it's like it's always like faith, family, and then Herbalife, and then it's like personal, just personal development, whatever. So I'm always like, okay, how's your faith right now? Like, are you grateful? How's your gratitude? I'll just share a quick story. So there was a moment in my business where I was about to quit. Like I was about to give up. Like I was looking at other people, like they're graduating from college, they're having, kids, they're doing all this stuff. And you think there's a blueprint in life, right? And I'm like struggling in my business. I'm riding my bike at that time, like literally riding my bike, and I didn't have enough money for gas. I was like, I'd rather buy a canister to feed a couple people in my club and make some money rather than to put gas in my car and I could ride my bike. And this is my last time in my nutrition club. I was about to like close the doors, and I was running a weight loss challenge. And there was this lady that was on my weight loss challenge 3 months in a row, and she was going to weigh in. And this is like where I was going to start telling people like, hey, it's my last week, blah, blah, blah. So she goes and she weighs in, I measure her, whatever. She steps on the scale, and then I'm reading her numbers. I'm like, oh my God, Tracy, like, look at this. And she's like, what? I was like, you're down 55 pounds.
It's crazy.
And then she turns around to me and she's crying. She's 46 years old. At the time, she's over 300 pounds. And then she said, last night was the first time I was able to cross my legs over since I was 13 years old.
Dude.
And I just looked at her and I was just like, and like, she's crying, I'm crying. We're just, that moment.
Waterworks.
Anyway, I went to the state of gratitude.
Yes.
I was like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. like the rest of my life to make people happy like this. And when gratitude changed, like I'm grateful for my bike, I'm grateful for what products I have, I'm grateful for bologna sandwiches, I'm grateful for
Everything.
everything. I can't even tell you what changed in my life because people saw the gratitude and the love. I was grateful for everybody who walked in the door and walked out the door, and I'll see you tomorrow, and I love you, and I'll see you later. Have the best day ever. Like when your attitude changes, my dad would always say this too, attitude is everything.
It is.
When that attitude changed and it sparked, business started happening, people started coming in, I was starting getting excited for just everything. And that's when my business fully changed.
I love that.
The moment.
And now you're speaking on big stages for Herbalife.
Yeah.
You travel more than anybody I know. I'll be honest with you. Where's your next speaking engagement? Where can people probably like tap in? Can they live stream it? How can they connect with you?
Like, we have a lot that
you do a lot right now, man.
Yeah, we have a lot that go in here, but we just got back from Canada, me and my sister.
Oh, yeah.
But like my first speaking engagement was a tour. They put me on a tour. I was only like 27 years old, 26, and I went to Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, and they did a 3-week tour with me. But that was like the craziest thing. That I've been to Brazil, I've been to Australia, I've been to lots of parts of Europe, everywhere. So Europe was really cool. Been to Mexico, lots of parts of Mexico. So yeah, just everywhere the company sent me first class, which I'm like this small town kid in first class with the hot towels and the laid back seats, you know. But it's just a blessing to be part of that, and a lot of that goes through keeping your taking care of yourself and take care of people. One of our CEO that started started Herbalife, Mark Hughes, he said care more for others and you'll be taken care of. And when you think about that with your clients, going the extra mile, they're going to take care of you. And then my distributors underneath me, taking care of them, they take care of you as well. So become a huge family,
losing the transaction, right? And get more in the relationship,
right?
And understand that piece. And so if someone wanted to work with you, like, what does that look like now? Like, how could someone like connect with you, get on the products, maybe try the products? And I would say share with everybody, like, what are your top 3 hitters for like weight loss? Like someone who's like, man, I'm struggling with these things. I want to start losing weight, similar to your journey. Like, what are the top 3 products they could get on, and then how can they get in touch with you to take advantage of that?
Right. Yeah. So for me, it just depends on the person's goal. You know what I mean? For me, for that. But for like when I first got started for myself, I'm down 42 pounds on the products, and I've been able to keep it off. But also like going to transition where like I wanted to gain muscle mass or whatever. But like I just kind of go with whatever people's goals are. So like right now there's like 80 of us that finished a 21-day cleanse. I love to do cleanses first off, because it's like if you haven't cleaned your toilet in like so many, it's like your intestines are like 26 feet long, and if you haven't cleaned that shit out in for so long, could you imagine how much stuff is backed up in there?
True.
So I literally just did one with my team, and I posted some results earlier, and I got like 6 clients who are like, I need a cleansing too. So I like to start with a cleansing if they want to do a cleansing. So it's a 21-day cleanse. I like to do that one first off, so they start developing great eating habits. And that's one of the biggest things. It's like, okay, you can get on the products, but then if you get off, you're like, I'm going to gain weight. Yes, you are, because you're not following something anymore. So that's one thing for me. But I love like our teas, our energy boosting teas, which are freaking awesome. That's what I love the most. And then of course our shakes, because it's only 200 calories, 24 grams of protein, something fun, simple, and you just throw it back and you're good to go. And then we have this new product called Multi-Burn. The Multi-Burn is...
I remember y'all talking about in the club. Yeah. Some like insane results on that one.
Insane results, yeah. Right. So it has moringa orange in there to help out with especially your visceral fat, but you're around your tummy. And just people have awesome results with those ones. So it was like my top one. But I could go on about the products.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you have so many, but like I love how like you can customize it, because everyone is different. Like there are I think I agree with you. That cleanse is like great. Clean out the system, like reset everything. It's like you're doing the oil change, right? Now we can run this car a lot harder than what it was before. And so now you take that and then you customize. Like I think honestly too, now I think about it, I think all of the teas and the shakes, right? Those are going to be a pillar in every single program in a way, right? Because the shakes give you high protein, teas give you energy, good vitamins and everything with it, which we all need. Like I think those for sure, those two in any regimen is great. Yeah, man. So dude, like, man, we definitely want to do this again. I like your story. Like I said, we can go on and on about like all that, but man, I really wanted people to like connect with you, understand you more, and just see you're a real person. I think a lot of times, man, we're on social media people see like all the things that we're doing and like where you're going and speaking on stages and for the thousands of people, and they just think like, oh, this person's untouchable, and they feel like they've had it easy. And I think that's like the main thing I really wanted people to see about you, man, is that, dude, you're a lover, you're a fighter, but you keep going.
Yeah.
And no matter what, where life shakes you, like you stay locked in on that foundation, man, of Christ and your family, and you keep giving love.
Right.
And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways for me, man, just hearing that, and also like understanding like, man, Pierre, keep doing that. And that's why I love having people like you in my life, that we're close. I can call you at any time of the day.
Yeah.
I can voice note you any time of the day. I can come see you. Like there's no distance. And I think that's the value that I really do appreciate about you, man. So again, everybody, look, if you want to get in touch with Enrique, what's your Instagram handle so everybody can get in touch?
Easy. Enrique Carrillo _. That's it.
That's it. Super simple. So you guys, man, hit up Enrique. He's the king of nutrition, Herbalife, the guy, but he's also full of love. So we thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.